Welcome to New Day Cleveland. Just check this out. We are down on the farm, and this is going to be a very special show. That's right, we're going to farms, like where you see chickens. And when you see chickens, what do you see? Or what do you get? You get eggs, right? Farmers, produce, cows, milk. And that takes us to our very first stop. It's a very unique dairy. They've got all kinds of flavors like chocolate, regular milk, pumpkin flavored milk, even butter pecan milk. Check it out. It's called Baker's Golden Dairy.
Baker's Golden Dairy is a family-owned and operated bottling facility. We have our dairy farm. We started milking cows in 1999, and then in 2011, we started the bottling facility. We bottle our own milk, we do drinkable yogurt as well, and we also are working on ice cream. Over the past few years, we've done over 30 different flavors of milk, and different flavors as in like not just your regular chocolate or strawberry. We've done banana, root beer, black cherry. The list is endless, and we're still coming out with new flavors. We just released a new flavor last week called orange pineapple, and we also started with a natural strawberry that's all natural and no artificial dyes. It's very interesting to keep going on with the flavors because it's endless. The drinkable yogurt goes through the same exact process as our milk does, except we add cultures to it while it's in the pasteurizer. We cool it down to about 107 degrees. We add the cultures to it. So instead of getting out your spoon, all you do is open up the bottle and drink it right from the bottle. Our milk is non-homogenized, which means the cream rises to the top as if you got it straight from the cow. Naturally, the milk would separate. We decided to go ahead and keep it this way. We wanted to take it back, go milk like it used to be, and we also pasteurize it, fat pasteurization, which is a lower temperature, unharming the enzymes that allow the milk to be broken down in the body. So people who are actually lactose intolerant have been able to drink our milk. My mom and my dad, Kevin and Deb Baker, are the owners here. I am their daughter, Casey, and I do work with my two other brothers. One of my older brothers, Keith, is here on the farm as well, and my younger brother, Caleb. So we all work together, and then with the help of some other family members too as well. We have a store here on the farm. They can find our dairy products and our ice cream along with our drinkable yogurt. They can also come and see, we always have a pet calf here at the store as well that you can bring your kids, and they really enjoy to see a baby calf. Not too many kids grow up around that these days. Also, you can call us if you want to do a farm tour. We do farm tours as well. You just call us, we set up a time, and we'll show you around the farm. It's, I guess in one word, it's crazy. I mean, to me, when I graduated high school, I had full intentions of going off to becoming a nurse. You know, growing up, working every single day with the cows and everything, it got old. But then I figured out when I was away at college that, you know, where my true passion is, and that's right here on the farm. So having this is pretty awesome.
Baker's Golden Dairy is open 10 to 4, and they are open 7 days a week. Our next farm is very unique and special because it's a safe place for people and animals. Check it out. It's called Downs on the Farm.
This one likes being petted more. Oh, you want a pet? Probably used to it.
Downs on the Farm is really an animal therapy farm. The purpose of it is for boys and girls, especially with special needs, to be able to come and really get to know what it's like to be on a farm and kind of open up around animals. You know, oftentimes that's an area where boys and girls are kind of uncomfortable, but you know, the animals have a really special way of kind of opening them up and making them feel really friendly and at ease. Anyone's welcome on the farm. You know, we've got raspberries out here, we've got the chickens, and we do kids camps too. Downs on the Farm actually started off with Grady. The Hodges have a 10-year-old son named Grady, and he's got Down syndrome. The animals really helped Grady just kind of come to life, and then they recognized what animal therapy was and how it treated Grady. He just loves it.
Mama found a piggy! You did? Yeah, see?
I think the biggest benefit that I've seen of animal therapy is when boys and girls with special needs. A lot of them just feel uncomfortable. Some of the animals are big, you know, we've got horses and cows, and so when they show up, they're like, I'm not super feeling it, you know, I don't know how I'm gonna be around this animal, but once they kind of ease in a little bit and they get to know that the animals are safe, you know, they're not gonna be hurt, they really just they settle down and they start to enjoy themselves. I think that's the biggest benefit, is that they feel really comfortable in a new environment. We just walk around, we get to know the animals and see how daily farm life is. We won't necessarily get on a tractor and, you know, go show them how to cut hay, but we'll show them, like, this is where we get the eggs, and, you know, this is how we feed the animals, and we'll allow the kids to do that themselves, and that additionally helps them feel more comfortable around the animals, is just doing the day-to-day stuff. Most of the animals are rescue animals. This is an animal sanctuary, so that allows the animals to come here and live out the rest of their lives in a safe place versus a place where they might not have been so fortunate that way. This is just a great environment, and I think the animals kind of represent that, or you can kind of feel it when you show up. You know, it's a great place, it's really happy, it's really enjoyable. To me personally, this farm kind of embodies what it means to serve. This has been a really excellent opportunity for me to come and to volunteer here, to get to know a lot of these boys and girls with special needs. It's actually something that I've decided to do, you know, at school now as well, just because of what I've done here. For them to come here and just to have, you know, a couple hours where they're really happy, it's awesome. Love it.
Downs on the Farm is located in Amherst, and if you'd like to visit, just visit their website. Okay, coming up after the break, more Down on the Farm. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland and our very special show, Down on the Farm. So let's head to another one where they have a traditional ingredient grown in a very untraditional way. Let's go to Tyler's farm.
Tyler's Farm is a hydroponic leaf, lettuce, and greens operation. We grow about 13 different varieties at this present time. And we service anything from grocery stores to farmers markets to restaurants, nursing homes, and schools. We started this business in 2014 is when it was built. And we really wanted to dive into full-time farming, and we chose hydroponic lettuce as our approach because of the quick turnaround. You can turn lettuce around from seed to finish in about 8 to 10 weeks, and sometimes a lot faster in the summertime. And you know, you can have fresh greens 365 days a year. So hydroponics is growing this product without any soil whatsoever. We have a substrate here that we use. It's called Oasis. It's a foam, and it's the same foam that florists use to put their arrangements in. And that is the only substrate that the plant has to set roots in. And the water flows constantly, it never stops, it recirculates. Being indoors, we have more control. They call it controlled environment agriculture. And having that control, and with such a quick turnaround, I'm able to get through a crop without using any pesticides. Do they grow faster in water versus dirt? And yes, they do. Why is that? All the nutrients are in the water, and the plants never have to expend any energy looking for anything that they need, water or food. And because of that, all of the energy has gone into generative, and the plants grow a lot faster. and you can grow them a lot closer and not have to have that spacing in between. That is the one advantage of hydroponics, is being able to grow faster and in a smaller space with a higher yield. I'm standing in front of romaine, and compared to soil-grown romaine, people are used to seeing the heart, the very thick center portion. In a greenhouse situation, you're not going to really get that heart, but you're going to get a very thick veined, very large leaf plant. And it is dual purpose then. Instead of just looking for that crunch in the salad, you're going to get crunch. A lot of people use these for wraps. This is simple leaf lettuce. And the difference in all of this product is the texture and the color, of course. So you go from really crunchy, great for burgers, to crispy. And this is good for sandwiches and salads for a nice crunch. And then over here, just a semi-crisp, and that's great for adding volume to your salad. This has 3 different seeds that were planted in the same cell. The growth habit, they all grow nicely and well together at the same stage and same speed, and it provides someone with texture differences and color differences, and they have a ready-made salad with this. It's a crowd favorite already at the markets.
If you'd like to sample some of Tyler's produce, it's available in stores all over Northeast Ohio. Okay, it's time for some more produce, right? Well, let's head to another place called A.B. Phillips and Sons.
A.B. Phillips and Sons is named after my grandfather, Alva Bradley Phillips. But the history goes way back before that, because it was his great-grandfather that actually came out into the township around 1818, and then his son bought this property in 1840 and had the house built around 1844. And we know that we were farming some fruit during the Civil War, pears and grapes, but we really got started seriously with apples around 1910 when my grandfather started planting orchards.
We began our season in June, at the end of June, and that's with sweet cherries, followed right away by tart cherries. We offer pick your own on both varieties. And then a little bit later, there's raspberries. Peach season starts the end of July or early August, and we're just getting into the middle of it now. And then grapes will start the end of August, early September. Labor Day is a great weekend to come out because you probably can pick pears and grapes and apples all by yourself.
People like to come out here and feel like they're out in the country, because it's not quite so highly manicured or professionals polished as some other farms.
Yeah, it's not a commercial enterprise at all. It's a family farm. So many of our customers are immigrants, and they have a farming tradition. They live in the city now, and they want to come out and experience the farm. And they call it, I'm going out to the farm.
Well, we're living in a house which was built for my double great-grandfather's Almuna back in 1844. It's a Greek Revival style. The wood was all timbered or milled and planed and built on site.
We tried not to remodel the inside, so the decor and we kept the woodwork where we could. And some of the wainscot in the main room is 1 board wide, and it's, 2.5, 3 feet. It's amazing. So the trees had to be huge. We get up at 6 every day, all year round.
I'm out to work by 7:30.
He is, even when it's barely light. Brad does a lot of the picking, what the pick your own doesn't do. Brad does all of it.
We do go to a self-serve mode in the winter, starting in December and until we run out of apples. But we sometimes don't run out of apples from the storage until May. So that's a lot easier on us, because we just say a sign, go into storage and make your own change.
Right, and they do.
A group of growers in the Midwest have been working on developing new apple varieties which are adapted to our climate, our growing region, our customers. And so I have some test apples on my farm just like 2 trees of this, 2 trees of that. They're all numbered. We are still working on finding new varieties which will fill niches, replace older varieties that all varieties have flaws. Some of these are much better tasting and very interesting apples.
We set up a stand in our barn, so when customers come, they can try an apple, no charge, and they tell us which ones they like the best. Some of them take a couple home and they'll email us and say, we really vote for this one, you know. So we enjoy getting the feedback from our customers on these apples.
AB Phillips Sons is located in Berlin Heights. When we come back, more Down on the Farm. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. It's our show called Down on the Farm, and you couldn't go down on the farm without going to the national park and going to a little farm called
the Spicy Lamb Farm.
Laura DeYoung. She's the brains behind this thing. And how did you come up with the name?
I wanted to sound like a British pub sign, something you wouldn't forget. So, like the dog and gun, the Spicy Lamb is easy to remember.
Easy to remember, and it's a very interesting place to get to. Also, it's we're in the national park, which is called what's this national park called?
Cuyahoga Valley National Park.
So we're in the Cuyahoga Valley, and to get here, you have to follow like the directions on your phone, or have somebody in the car that knows, because it's a little tricky to get here, isn't it?
We're at the dead end of Akron Peninsula Road, but not the Akron Peninsula Road off of 303. You have to get to us through Boston Mills Road. Mm-hmm. So the closest intersection that people would probably know is Route 8 and 80.
Okay, so when you get here, it is really it is a beautiful place in the middle of nowhere. And what is the farm about? How did you start it, and why is it what it is?
Well, obviously the name the Spicy Lamb Farm, our primary production is seed stock production Dorset sheep, and we have roan ducks that you see running around behind you, and we also are raising tall spindle orchard that we're getting started, and we raise spicy herbs and vegetables and flowers and honey and a few other odd things.
And a whole bunch of other stuff. So what instigated this lifestyle and this idea for you?
Well, you know, when I was young, I always wanted to have sheep and play the bagpipes. My mom said, you know, sheep smell and the bagpipes are noisy, and so now I'm doing both.
That sounds so very, very funny. When people visit here, what can they do if they come to see you?
Well, our main event every year is what we call Spring Fling, and we open up the farm during lambing time because everybody wants to come see the cute little ducklings and the lambs, and we try to do it around Easter time so that everybody gets their photographs for their holidays. Mm-hmm. So, and we share our sheep at that time, and folks enjoy that. But we also have an incredible event in the fall, usually every year, which is Cuyahoga Valley Sheepdog Trials.
What are these dogs and what do they do?
Well, you're watching Edie Hardensteiner, who I met the first year when she came to our trials and won the Pro Novice. And she has some amazing dogs, and not only does she work the sheep here on the farm, but she also volunteers at Perkins Mansion, where I send my sheep every summer, and they do programming all summer. So if I'm busy and at work or with my family, people can go enjoy the sheep there. So the dogs are judged on their outrun, their lift, their cross drive, their penning, and their shedding. So I hope you see a little bit of that.
Yeah, that is excellent. I saw sheep or goats grazing off the freeway somewhere. Are those any of yours?
Oh, that used to be up in downtown Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yes, those were mine. I started a nonprofit organization along with other folks, and it's called Urban Shepherds, and we're promoting using sheep to maintain landscaping. So instead of raising a crop of grass clippings, we're raising meat and wool, and obviously it reduces a lot of the carbon emissions because sheep are a lot more environmentally friendly than lawnmowers.
I was just thinking, you know, I enjoy a great lamb chop or, you know, whatever, a nice sweater and all that, but what are some of the more enjoyable things about raising the sheep and the lambs?
Oh, well, they're just lovely animals. I just love them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, you know, you see people do yoga with goats and that kind of thing.
Well, I haven't gotten to doing that yet.
You haven't figured that one out yet. But I got to tell you, beautiful barn. It's a different barn, I think, than when I was here last time.
Yes, that's true. And unfortunately, on March 4th, 2014, the barn burned to the ground, and we rebuilt it to be reminiscent of the new barn, but we had a local architect and we had Amish builders.
It's great.
And I think it's prettier than the old barn, actually, so I'm enjoying it very much.
Speaking about pretty, listen folks, this is a place you have to visit. It's called Spicy Lamb Farm.
Correct.
And you open up a book, a little storybook somewhere, and you see a picture of a beautiful little farm in the middle of nowhere, in this case in the middle of a national park, and it looks just like this.
Well, thank you for coming. I hope you enjoy your visit.
Who doesn't like beautiful, fresh cut flowers? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get right now when we head to Manaway.
Here's a few of these, Bells of Ireland. Field of Blooms is a business that was started in 2013. Been growing flowers for a long, long time, and I decided to give my hand to see if I could actually sell them. And I started selling them on a small little stand, and people bought them. I do markets and I do weddings and special events. My flowers come straight from the field. They're not shipped, they're not flown. They're grown right here in Northeast Ohio. I have about 84 different flowers that I grow. Now that includes annuals and perennials. Everything I start annually is either from a seed, a corm, a tuber, a bulb, and then the perennials I just accumulate over time. I split them, share them with friends, put them in different places. It's a lot of hit and miss as to where they're going to grow best. Sometimes people ask me when I grow them and they get a bouquet, they go, now will this last me 3 days? And I'm like, of course it will last you 3 days. It's going to last you 7 to 10 to 14 days if you take care of it. And when I mean take care of it, that means you have to give it clean water, you have to feed your flowers, you have to snip the ends, and you have to keep the foliage out of the water. So it's kind of a basic thing, and I always sell the flower with a little care card to say, okay, this is how your flowers are going to last, this is how you take care of them. I want them to get the best product. My roadside stand is a self-serve, and I call it more of an honesty stand. And a number of people will drive by and they'll say, does this actually work? Like this business model? And I said, yes, it actually works. I would say 99% of the time, people pay for their product. And sometimes they overpay for their product because they'll say, no, this is actually worth more than that. And I'm like, oh, thank you. You just come by to the stand. There is a price already on it. It's on my cut and care card. You just turn it over and you'll find the price. You put the money in the little old-fashioned mailbox, and then you take your vase and your flower arrangement home. And use some of the Cerinthe, and there's more Cerinthe inside. You can get a few Lizzies out of the cooler, put those in the base. I do love it, partly because it brings a lot of happiness to people, and I have really good employees. And I love the colors, and people love the flowers, and therefore that makes me happy. That's a fabulous bouquet. I love the status and the ageratum and the spiky of this.
Field of Blooms is located in Manaway, and if you'd like to order a bouquet, just head to their website. And of course, we have a whole lot more New Day Cleveland coming up after the break. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. We're talking about produce, right? Well, we've got a place that's one stop for everything you're going to need. It's called White House Fruit Farm.
White House Fruit Farm is our family business. We've been here on this land since about 1815. First and foremost, we are apple growers and we are fruit and vegetable growers. So we start our season in May with asparagus, then we go into strawberries, blueberries, a wide range of vegetables, sweet corn, tomatoes, peppers, peaches, which is a big crop for us, and then of course the crop that pays all of our bills, which is apples, and we end the season with pumpkins and squash. We grow about 40 varieties of apples. Now at this time of year, there are not many. This is not apple season, but of course during the fall we have just, so many varieties, some of which you will know and some of which are very unique to our part of Ohio. We belong to an organization called the Midwest Apple Improvement Association, and we are founding members, and one of the apples that we have come up with is called Evercrisp. It's a Fuji and Gold Rush cross, and it is an absolutely to die for apple. It's rock hard, it's as sweet as sugar, it keeps forever. We've been selling out within about 3 weeks of harvest, but one of these years we'll have enough to get us several months down the road. Spring season, of course, homegrown asparagus. Our signature items all year long are our deli and our donuts. As we come into summer, of course, it's homegrown fruit and vegetable season. Everything starts to ripen here on the farm.
There you go. Thank you.
We've been making donuts since 1978. On any given day, you may see 35 to 40 varieties in our case. We're very proud of our donuts. We're well known for them. Our signature donut is blueberry, but we have specials each month of different varieties, and they go with the seasons. Well, it's lots of fun, but it's lots of responsibility as well. My entire family is here. My parents, who are in their 80s, are active 7 days a week. My brother and I, my son, my sister, and my brother-in-law. You know, sometimes they say it takes a village. It takes a city for us. Check our website for all of our festival days. We have a summer music series. We have things going on all the time throughout the year.
You have a great day.
Northeast Ohio is a spectacular place to go. So you're going to make a wonderful drive down here to Mahoning County. There's lots of fruit and vegetable growers in the area. You can visit many of us, but we do invite you to stop down because we really have a unique store. We're very, very proud of it. Although we are fruit and vegetable growers, we carry about 3,000 different specialty foods. Lots of small products made here in Ohio or regionally, and we try very, very hard to service our customers with what they're looking for.
White House Fruit Farms is open 7 days a week. Our next stop is a great place to help animals in need. It's called Happy Trails.
Happy Trails Farm Animal Sanctuary is a rescue, rehab and rehoming facility for farm animals and also horses. Our animals come to us through law enforcement. These are most likely going to be a prosecuted cruelty case. We do very few owner's surrenders. A lot of people think we're a facility where if people don't want an animal, they can just bring it here. That's not the case. We get many calls every week for potbelly pigs. People get them when they're babies and do not realize that they're going to grow up to be a pretty substantial animal, maybe 60 to 200, 250 pounds. Ohio is known for having very, very, very weak laws for protecting animals. Goddard's Law is helping the dogs and cats. We're grateful for that. But farm animals and exotic and wild animals are still on the short end of that deal. We have 11 acres, which doesn't sound like a whole lot for housing farm animals, but we will show you as we go through. We are using every inch of this space in the best possible way that we can. Now, since our goal is not to keep these animals forever, we're their way station where they come to get healthy. They come to get emotionally rehabilitated. Many of them have understandably lost their trust in people. It's always amazing to us that they ever even gain it back, considering what some of them have been through in their lives, but they do. And that is a tribute to the people who work with them day in and day out with the feeding and caring and the medical care they receive. So our goal is to find these animals a forever home.
There's a lot of ways that you can show your support. One of the most important ways here is to sponsor an animal. You actually are directly responsible for the daily, weekly, monthly care of an animal in need. You receive information, photos, information updates about the animal that you're sponsoring. And then you're also invited to one of our closed sanctuary sponsor days where you get to join with our other amazing sponsors, wander and roam the sanctuary and get to spend hands-on time with the animal that you are actually participating in the care of.
Come on, Patty, good girl. Do it! Come on. All pigs love a good belly rub. And we're all weighing in here between about 850 and 1,000 pounds. Do your homework. What kind of vaccines do they need to have? Do they need hoof trims? Do they need regular veterinary care? How much room do they need? Are you keeping it outside? Is it going to be an inside animal? How are you going to potty train it? Will it get along with kids? Will it get along with the dogs? All of those questions that you would ask for any kind of animal you're bringing into your home, you need to ask yourself with a farm animal. Animals have always had a place in my heart. To be able to give these guys a second, maybe sometimes third or fourth chance at a happy life fills me with great joy.
Happy Trails is located in Ravenna. Coming up after the break, more Down on the Farm. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland and our very special show, Down on the Farm. Isn't it beautiful? And what's more beautiful to find fresh on the farm than fresh corn? Let's get in the car and travel a little bit and check out Phenix.
My parents bought the farm, I think it was in 1943. My mother and father had 7 sons. If you have a bunch of boys, you have all of this potential free labor. So I think that was the gist of my dad perhaps going into farming. He planted very early corn. He's actually one of the first people to plant it very early. He had very good varieties, and since he was the first, people kind of repeated it, I believe. Compared to the old days, the varieties were very bland in that, but now just with genetics and all of these scientific things, I think now they are much superior quality. I remember when I was younger, eating an ear of corn, it wasn't that great of an experience. Some of the varieties are actually sweeter like a day or so after than when you actually pick them. It's a very good product now. We usually, for like approximately a 1-month window, which is usually August, we do offer 3. And we have the pure yellow, and the yellow is more of a soft kernel. And we have the pure white, which is a crunchy kernel. And then we have the bicolors all the time. And the bicolors are usually crisp and crunchy. You want a dark green, it has to have a dark green color on the outside. Generally the silk is brown, and if it's a dark brown silk, it's mature. This is called the shank, and then the shank, this is what was separated from the plant. And this should, it shouldn't be brown or anything. It should be like a whitish or a green color, meaning that it was picked and it wasn't in storage. But yeah, basically we check them all, and if it's got nice coloration, that's a nice bicolor. It's yellow and white mixed. That's a very good ear of corn. Okay, thank you. We're here from 9 to 7. We try to pick all this stuff fresh every morning, and then we try to gauge it and how much we sell. And then, our whole little game plan is to have very little left over at the end of the day. I think we're very consistent. If something's not right, we just don't harvest it. So many days we will have someone say, I remember coming here with my grandmother or my mother or father when I was a little kid. We have very loyal clientele people.
Phenix Sweet Corn is located in Elyria, and that is on Lake Avenue. Okay, let's turn back the clock. 1928, that's when this market was put together. It's called Stall's Farm Market.
Stall's Farm Market is a family-owned business that grows fruits and vegetables and sells them to people in the northeastern Ohio area. Right now it's apple season. We have approximately 24 varieties of apples. Also pumpkins are beginning to ripen up, and people can pretty soon bring their families out and pick the apples and pumpkins. We intentionally have somewhat shorter trees just to facilitate families being able to pick the apples easily. We intentionally prune them to be kind of shorter, and then also we grow a variety of trees called semi-dwarf trees that are just naturally shorter. People bring their families, and we give them bags to pick apples into, and there's not a lot of rules. Just pick whatever apples you think are good and go and pay for them, and most importantly, have fun. Two good reasons. One is it supports your local economy, and also it's fun. You don't get a particularly exciting experience going to like Walmart or Giant Eagle and getting your stuff there. But come out to a farm market like this, it's quite nice outside, and get the experience of picking stuff yourself if you so choose to. Our earlier varieties are ready and they're being picked right now. Those are usually less sweet apples like Portland's and Macintosh, the summer varieties that don't quite keep in storage as well as the later fall varieties. Fall varieties, we're starting to pick them now, but they're not all the way ready quite yet. Examples of the fall varieties would be Galas, Red Delicious, Ida Reds, and Jonathan's as well. We pick a variety of things so you don't have to. So you'd find cabbage, apples, pumpkins, onions, peppers, and stuff like that. We have two locations. This store here in North Benton, smaller, more focused on customers coming out and picking stuff themselves. Our store in Ravenna is larger and has a wider variety of produce and non-produce items like jams and jellies and canning supplies, stuff like that. Go ahead and eat the apple. Is that a tasty apple? Simply just a fun experience that I enjoy picking apples with my kids, like every day, and I think other families enjoy it as well.
Ooh, you're lucky. Stahl's Farm Market has two locations. One is in Ravenna and the other is in North Benton. And of course we have more New Day Cleveland coming up right after the break. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland. Are you ready for a field that is all purple? Well, check this out. It's called Love and Lavender.
So Love and Lavender is an old family farm. It's been in the Hayduck family for over 100 years, and it's had many different faces. It's been used to grow dahlias and decorative flowers. It's also been used at one point grew grapes for Welch's Orchards. We were growing some vegetables here, and we're looking to increase the pollinators. We're noticing that the harvest wasn't really great, and so that turned us on to lavender. Turns out lavender was really good for bringing the pollinators in, and then also has so many other great qualities that we decided to push forward with the lavender. We grow about 20 different varieties. Those 20 different varieties are English and French. The English are very hardy, are used for culinary, and every single lavender variety has a different purpose, a different scent, a little bit different profile, different colors. Our early varieties generally start blooming at the beginning of June. So within the first week or two of June, we start to see our English varieties are opening up. And for about a month thereafter until the middle of July, we kind of have a succession of blooms. So around the early part of July is probably the best opportunity to see us in what we call high bloom, or in our most prolific bloom, when all of the different varieties are blooming at about the same time. All the way from field to the shop, we distill our own essential oil. We use our essential oil in some of our products. We make shampoos, body lotions. We do sell culinary lavenders, which have been triple cleaned for people to use in cooking. We have some mixed teas, body wraps, a lot of spa type products, and then also some culinary type products as well. We welcome people as family. We tell people that they can bring a lunch and they can spend time out in the fields. They can explore around. We like to have some information panels about the farm so people can kind of take a self-guided tour, learn a little bit about nature, learn a little bit about stewardship. One of our big things is having people understand the importance of beneficial insects and pollinators, and how truly important those are to our agricultural systems. Knowing ahead of time you are coming out to a farm, so dress appropriately. We ask that people don't generally wear really loose flip-flops. You know, some people like to wear, you can wear shorts, but maybe long pants is a better idea. And to be aware that, you know, we do have the pollinators and that's what we're here for. So when you're coming, you may be walking into a field of bees. We will go with you, and we like to really stress the fact that the honeybees and the pollinators aren't going to bother you when they're busy working. I like to take little kids into the field actually and show them that you can just kind of wiggle the plants and the bees leave and they leave you alone, and they don't really want to go after you. But just be aware that you're in a natural surrounding.
Lavender is easy to find. It's in grape country, and that is Madison, Ohio. Okay, how about some apples, folks? Granny Smith, McIntosh, Fuji's, you name it. Let's check out Monroe's Orchards.
We're celebrating our 80th anniversary this year, which we're really excited about. My husband's the third generation. We have our 3 children work with us now, making it 4 generations. We have apples, peaches, pears, strawberries, raspberries, cherries. We have pick your own apples that'll be coming up shortly. We have 25 varieties of apples. So we have some old favorites. We have customers that come in and want those Northern Spies. I think we only have 5 trees of those left. We have some wine sap, which is another old favorite, McIntosh, Cortland, Jonathan. So we have several that are available for pick your own, but not everything. Honeycrisp is not available for pick your own. But we'll have McIntosh and Golden Supreme, Cortland, Jonathan, Empire. We have some Johnny Gold and Fuji that will be available for pick your own later on. There's a lot of new trends, like everyone wants Honeycrisp, and I'm excited we have the Evercrisp coming out. I don't think we'll have any this year, but we expect to have some next year, and that's a cross between a Honeycrisp and a Fuji, 2 favorites. What's nice about our market is we have a pack your own table, and the pack your own table has all the varieties of apples on that are available at that time, and then you can go through and mix and match a bag to take home for what you like. So when you make an apple pie, you want to mix the varieties, so that enables you to do it without buying 4 or 5 different bags.
Thank you.
We do make our own apple cider here. We're quite sticklers with the quality. You have to have at least 5 varieties is what we try for to make our cider. You want to have a rich blend. You want sweet and sour and tangy and spicy, all those kinds of apples. Our Bartlett pears are available right now. Inside each bag you get a recipe sheet with some information about the Bartletts, because you want to take them home when they're green and let them ripen at your place. And also one of my favorite recipes is on there, pear pie. Pick your own pumpkins are available. We grow several kinds. Most of them are jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, but we do have pie pumpkins as well, and the specialty pumpkins. And we always have a great white pumpkin contest. We find the biggest white pumpkin we've got, put it in the market, and no one's allowed to touch it, but you are to guess the weight. The person that is the closest in weight will win the great white pumpkin. It doesn't taste any better than when it comes from the farm. It also teaches the children how things grow, where they grow. Does a strawberry grow on a tree? No. It teaches them that they need to take care of the ground that we live on. And we're very thankful for the people that come out too. We appreciate them purchasing from us, and then we get to share, you know, what we have and what we grow with them.
Monroe's Orchard is located in Hiram. And of course, here I am in the middle of the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. A special thanks to the Spicy Lamb Farm. What a beautiful place. What a great slice of heaven. Just like the show, you got to see a lot of them, right? Come out and visit them. Have some fun. I'm David Moss. We'll see you on the next New Day Cleveland.